right, good morning. The Commissioner General, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, partners, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Deloitte Africa, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2025 Deloitte Tax Conference. Whether you have traveled far or near, whether you are joining us from Ghana, you are part of our team, I want to welcome you to this year's conference, which is the first time that we are hosting this in Accra, Ghana. The theme for the conference this year is building a resilient tax system, embracing transparency, digital innovation, and global reform in Africa. Today, we are expecting about 150 participants. And when I check the background of the people that are coming, I see that we have people coming from about 14 African countries. And I think we very well represented here. We can give ourselves a round of applause for that. We also have about 4 teams that are coming from outside of Africa. So this is a global event. The background of the people include people with technology, consumer business, energy, financial health, and public sectors who have gathered here. And over the next 3 days, together we will discuss African tax landscape in the era of digital innovation. And yesterday, I was at a function, internal audit agency, and we're talking about how to use digital landscape in audit, in internal audit. So this is the right topic and the right team for us. The season will focus on tax reforms and trade. Our preliminary session will dive into the impact of international tax reforms on Africa, the critical role of tax policy in enhancing intra-African and cross-border trade, with special focus on Africa's unique perspective. The African Continental Free Trade, the AfTA, base erosion and profit-sharing system, and the OECD's 2-pillar proposals present a great opportunity for African economic and fiscal growth. We will discuss the need to harmonize tax and trade policies that facilitates these initiatives and proposals, and what these mean for the future of all of us as Africans. Beyond the technical discussions, this conference is an opportunity to connect, collaborate, and share experiences. I encourage you to make the most of the network breaks and the cultural engagements that have been included in the agenda. But I cannot end this without saying there's something special about gathering in Accra. Time magazine named Accra as one of the world's greatest places to visit for its rich culture, creativity, and warmth. From exploring the Makola market, and yesterday I see some of the people have started going to the Osu market, that busy place. You also want to relax at the beach, the Bati Beach. It's a nice place to relax. And for those of you coming from Deloitte, this is Loazi's place. Anytime he comes around, this is the hotel he will stay. And also enjoying the competitive jollof rice. The competition is already won, but there's also something that is called Kele Ole. Please try those, and then we'll see. There will also be the dancing of the Afrobeat, and visitors will have to experience the city, the blend of our tradition, the energy, and the Ghanaian hospitality. If you can, I urge you to join us as we carefully chosen these tours and the third day, and I'm very sure you would enjoy every bit of it. As it's already said, I wish in our local dialect, and I only use one, to say Akwaba, which means welcome. Enjoy the session, enjoy the conference. I will be here throughout the conference with you. And let me once again thank the Commissioner General for making time to join us. A round of applause for the Commissioner General for joining us. As you know, and I will disclose it, until very recently, he was in the blue side of the team. And now, once he's here, he has joined the green dots. A round of applause for the Commissioner General. I also see a lot of our friends also have come from the red side. It's okay, we are all a big family. So I welcome all of you who have joined us from wherever you've come from, whether blue or yellow. Today, you are a team green. I now have the singular honor and a privilege to invite on stage the Commissioner General, Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Anthony Kwesi Sapon, to give us the keynote address. Just before he comes, Tony, as I always call him, was appointed the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority on 21st January 2025, bringing along with him over 28 years of experience in advisory services. Tony, when I check, I've done 27, so you only beat me by just a year. So Tony has been in the realm just for about 10 months, and Tony, we have seen the impact that you have made so far, and it's in the light of this that as a firm, we've also brought this year's function to Accra. Digitization, which I know is something on your heart. So with a round of applause, we want to invite Tony to give us his keynote address. Thank you. Thank you. We can keep clapping. Let's keep clapping for him, at least.
Good morning to everyone, and welcome to the warm city of Accra. I understand there are some francophones here, so bienvenue au Ghana, mon frère et ma sœur. Do you have some French-speaking people here? I want to hear their response. Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup. So, first of all, I would like to acknowledge and thank Deloitte Africa and Deloitte Ghana for bringing this conference to Accra, Ghana. It's important that as we talk about Africa, we make sure that we are all connected with the things that we do. So making sure that this conference is not staying in one place and moving around is great commendation. So let's give a round of applause to the leadership. And as country managing partner said, just a few months ago, we're competing on the other side, wearing the blue jersey. But today, when I look at the colors I have, all the colors are in there. So at least I feel safe to be in the room with the green people. Very, very safe here. And for the many of you who have traveled far and wide to come to Accra, let me also add my voice to what the country managing partner said, that do not just hop into the conference, but also enjoy Accra. Localize some of the funding that you brought into the economy so that I can raise my tax revenue. As you consume and you eat, at least I'll get my VAT revenue. So I'm gratified and very happy to be here. And to our MC, as we were recounting the welcome in local languages, I was marking whether you say Obake, but you did. So thank you very much. It's a very strong debate we are having. So she saved herself by including that in the narration. So for our esteemed leaders from Deloitte Africa, country managing partner, esteemed colleagues from tax administration across Africa, leaders of industry, policy makers, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to join you this morning and to serve as a guest at this 2025 Deloitte Africa Tax Conference. Allow me, as I've already mentioned, to commend Deloitte for convening such a timely, important dialogue, one that truly reflects the complexity and the promise of Africa's fiscal future. And I say so because for those of us in Ghana and for many African countries, we have seen the dwindling support that traditionally we receive from donor funding agencies. So once those support are going down, the message is clear to us at home that homegrown revenue mobilization is the way to go for national development. And therefore, this conference couldn't have been more timely to clearly let us know that we must use the advantages of digitization and technology to improve our revenue mobilization for national development. So in that respect, this conference continues to be a vital platform for bringing together the voice of businesses, policymakers, and tax administrators to reflect on how we can build tax systems that are not only efficient and transparent, but also resilient in the face of global transformation. So setting the context in terms of fiscal renewal, across the continent, tax systems are being reshaped by the powerful forces of digitalization, global tax reforms, and the drive for sustainable development financing. In this respect, the theme for this year's conference, Building Resilient Tax Systems, Enhancing Transparency, Digital Innovation, and Global Reform in Africa, could not be more relevant. We are operating in an era where fiscal resilience is not just a policy aspiration, but a necessity. Global economic uncertainty, climate pressures, shifting investment patterns, and the rapid evolution of digital business models are testing the strength and flexibility of our tax systems. Resilience in this context, therefore, means more than revenue stability. It means adaptability, fairness, and trust, the ability of our tax systems to evolve with our economies, to support innovation, and maintain the public confidence even in the face of turbulent times. Let's move on to enhancing transparency and building trust and accountability. Transparency remains the cornerstone of every resilient tax system. Where taxpayers understand how taxes are assessed, administered, and utilized, compliance becomes a shared responsibility rather than an imposed obligation. In Ghana, we continue to make significant strides towards greater fiscal openness and accountability. Through initiatives such as electronic invoicing, tax e-portal, and real-time data integration, the Ghana Revenue Authority is reducing opacity, closing compliance gaps, and fostering a culture of voluntary compliance. And let me add that this is a journey. We don't believe that we have matured and arrived yet, but with the increasing investment in technology, we hope to complete the journey sometime to come. And I believe this is also particularly relevant for all other or many of our African countries. Nonetheless, transparency is not only about systems. It's about relationships, it's about the quality of people we have, it's about the strength of processes we put in place to ensure that revenue collection is not just about collecting taxes from taxpayers, but also ensuring that we maximize the revenue and they are also used for the appropriate development needs. It is about continuous dialogue between tax authorities, businesses, and citizens, a dialogue grounded in fairness, clarity, and respect. Technology has become the single most transformative force in modern tax administration. Across Africa, revenue authorities are leveraging digital tools to improve efficiency, accuracy, and service delivery. And I dare say it's not only across Africa. Recently, we joined the entire Commonwealth, and almost every tax administrative bodies are talking about how do we use digitalization to drive tax administration and to drive greater revenue mobilization. So again, in Ghana, at Ghana Revenue Authority, our ongoing digital transformation seeks to connect systems, automate our processes, and enhance taxpayer experience. This is not simply about technology adoption. It's about redefining how we interact with taxpayers, shifting from enforcement to engagement, from compliance to monitoring to compliance facilitation. Digitalization also enables smarter analytics, improved risk management, and faster resolution of disputes. All these are essential ingredients for a modern and credible tax system that provide fairness and equity to the taxpayer. But as we innovate, we must remain mindful of inclusivity. We must ensure that smaller enterprises, informal sector actors, and cross-border traders are not left behind the digital transition. A resilient system is one that works for everyone, not only for the technologically advanced businesses. And I think this point is also essential for us in Africa. Across Africa, we have large or part of our GDP or businesses in the informal sector. In Ghana, we believe that about 30% of our GDP is contributed by the informal sector. And that means that 1/3 of potential tax revenue is from that. And we believe that technology is the way to go to harness the potential in this area and to bring everyone into the tax net. Global reform and regional cooperation. We stand at a pivotal moment in the global tax reform agenda. The evolving international tax architecture, including the OECD's two-pillar solution and the global minimum tax, presents both opportunities and challenges for African countries. And I believe the country managing partner was right when he mentioned that. To benefit from these reforms, African nations must engage actively and collaboratively, ensuring that our voices are reflected in the global rules of taxation. It is equally vital that we strengthen intra-African cooperation, harmonizing tax policies, reducing barriers to trade under the AfTac, and building frameworks that prevent harmful tax competition. As we do so, our goal should not merely be to increase revenue, but to foster fairness and create an enabling environment for investment, innovation, and growth. So that leads me to a call to partnership. The future of taxation in Africa cannot be shaped by governments alone. It requires an enduring partnership between policymakers, administrators, professional firms such as Deloitte, and the entire private sector. Conferences such as this are essential to cultivating that partnership, a space where we can share insights, challenge assumptions, and co-create solutions. The conversations that begin here must translate into practical reforms that strengthen institutions, modernize systems, and enhance the taxpayer experience across the continent. So, Daniel, country managing partner, I'll be looking forward to receive the outcome of these deliberations. I may not be here all the 3 days, but I believe at the end of it, the conversations and insight will be useful to us as Ghana Revenue Authority, and therefore I'll be looking forward for a side chat on this one. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the task before us is clear: to build tax systems that are resilient, innovative, and inclusive. systems that sustain public finances while supporting enterprise and creating opportunities for our people. If we can achieve this, then taxation will cease to be viewed merely as a burden and will instead become a pillar of nation building and a driver of Africa's prosperity. Once again, let me thank Deloitte, the organizers, and all participants who have traveled far and wide to join us in Accra for being part of these 3-day fruitful deliberations. May this conference inspire new ideas, partnership, and commitments that will strengthen the fiscal future of our continent. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Can we put our hands together one more time for the Commissioner General? Thank you, sir. Commissioner General, I'm a proud girl, so there's no way I can welcome everybody without saying, "Oh, Baking." Well, as promised, we said there will be a number of beautiful cultural displays, and we have, I'm sure you heard some drums beating sometime in the background, so they're going to display a bit of Ghanaian culture for us. Please, sit back, relax, enjoy. If you feel like dancing as well, you can get up and see if you can make the moves they are doing as well. Enjoy. I could tell nobody was courageous enough to get up and try and dance like them. So if you know you cannot dance like them, let's put our hands together for them one more time. Thank you, Okromansa. I have the privilege of introducing a lovely lady. I just met her yesterday in the Deloitte Ghana office, and one of the obvious things that caught my attention is her brilliant smile. And she speaks so well. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the tax and legal managing partner, Africa, Etilering Kubeka.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, a little bit more energy. Good morning. It's so good to have you all here. So I'm just here to officially welcome you. I know Daniel has welcomed you already. And Commissioner General, we thank you so much for your keynote speaker and your insights. You could not have set the tone better for this conference and what everybody should expect in the next couple of days. So, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. On behalf of Deloitte, it is my immense pleasure to extend our warmest welcome to each and every single one of you to this very important and pivotal conference. And let's be honest, when people think about coming to a tax conference, they don't exactly get very excited. They think we talk about rules and data. And we are going to change that mindset. This is about strategy. This is about setting the path for this continent. Our theme, as you've already heard for the next few days, is both a challenge and a call to action. Building resilient tax systems by embracing transparency, digital innovation, and global reform in Africa. This points to 3 pillars, as you've already heard this morning. Transparency. This is the currency for trust. For our clients, it means predictability and fairness. For our regulators and policymakers, it means clearer insight and improved voluntary compliance. In an era of global information exchange, transparency is no longer an option. It is the new standard of doing business on the world stage. Second is digital innovation. This is our most powerful tool. From AI-driven analytics that can predict non-compliance, to blockchain for secure and transparent transactions, to simple e-filing portals that reduce the burden on business, technology is revolutionizing our landscape. Third is global reform. Africa is not an island. The global tax landscape is shifting dramatically with initiatives like OECD, Pillar 2 solutions. We are here to ensure that Africa's voice is not just heard, but it is influential. This conference is designed to be collaborative, so please take the advantage to gain insights, to connect. We have subject matter experts, we've got clients, we've got policymakers, we've got regulators in the room. This is a great opportunity to connect. And the goal is not to just have conversations, but to forge a shared agenda, an agenda for a resilient Africa, one with robust public services, thriving economies, and a tax system that is not just efficient, but is also a source of national pride and a catalyst for growth. Thank you once again for being here. It is an absolute honor to be hosting you in the next 2.5 days. Welcome, and let's get to work.